Do you remember a scene from an old Rocky movie? Rocky is getting ready to fight Mr. T. So this is back Rocky 37 or whatever it is. And he's all suited up. I mean, he's in like a $5,000 suit. And his manager is packing up to leave. And he says, "Mick, where are you going? What are you doing? I got to fight." And Mick says, "I'm leaving. I'm out of here." "Well, why are you leaving?" "He's going to knock you into tomorrow." He says, "What do you mean? I'm the world champion." And Mick says to him, "You used to be supernatural, but now you're civilized." Mindset is everything. Mindset takes us from being average to being supernatural, but can also take us from being supernatural, the 1%er, the really great athlete, to being civilized. It's true in every area of life. Being merely civilized, fit in, be like everybody else, be like the other 99%. It's mindset that does that. So let's go into my office. Let's talk about mindset just a little bit more, and let's make sure we can have the best mindset possible as we approach that 1% of 1% kind of lifestyle. Turning bad things into good things is up to you. It has always been up to you. Look, we are greatly impacted by the thoughts that go through our minds. Our minds are so powerful. They may be the most powerful thing in the universe outside of God. Our minds change things. Our minds can imagine a bigger and better future. Our minds can imagine cures for diseases. Our minds can do amazing things. And whatever thoughts you're thinking, your brain is actually changing based upon those thoughts. That's right. You think a thought. You have an idea, you think a thought, and your brain structure actually changes. Your thoughts and my thoughts change something in reality called our brains. So our minds, our thoughts are extremely powerful. This is why it's so important for us to have a really great mindset. We come back to this idea of having a bigger and better future that we imagine. We can see it, we can taste it, we can smell it, we can describe it in writing. We see this bigger and better future, and then we ask ourselves, well, we're here now. How do we get from here to there? What are the things required to get from here to there? But sometimes along the way, what we do is we get sidetracked with what I think is a better idea at the time. It's not a better idea because it takes us off track. We have two words. We have traction, moving toward our goal, and distraction, which means we're simply moving away from the goal. So we can have a better idea that becomes a distraction. Look, there's a shiny thing over there, and we go after it. Sometimes we realize that the better idea is taking us away from our goal, from our bigger and better future. So we come back, but when we come back to that point, we've wasted time. That's what it is. It wastes time. It's good to come back. It's good to repent. It's good to change our minds. It's good to come back, but it's wasted time. So mindset becomes incredibly powerful. Think of 4 different kinds of mindset here. You can have a positive, optimistic mindset. You can have a negative, pessimistic mindset. Either one, it's your choice. Nobody controls your mindset. You can be positive and optimistic. You can be pessimistic, negative. The other 2 choices really are, you can have a growth mindset or a static fixed mindset. Now what that means is a fixed mindset believes right in their core that whatever they have been given in terms of brain power, intelligence, creativity, whatever, is fixed. That's what you've got. You were born with it, you grew up with it, you went through high school with it, you went through college with it, whatever, that's what you got. A growth mindset understands that's not the reality of the world. That in reality, growth mindset tells us that if we work hard at something, we can improve at it. If we are creative with things, we can change. And if we really come to grips with some of the big things in the universe, we can be transformed. Not just changed, but transformed. So a growth mindset says wherever you're at now, you can be in a whole different place a year from now or 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's a growth mindset. And many of the great athletes in the world have a growth mindset. That's why they work so hard to get better and better and better. That's why we have athletes who approach us about working with us in our brain training, neurofeedback and Mendy blood flow neurofeedback and this kind of training here. It's because they understand they can have bigger and better and faster and stronger brains and central nervous system to approach the world with, to approach their sport with. So mindset is important. And out of our mindset comes our thoughts. Our thoughts, again, can be positive, negative. It matters because our thoughts are shaping our brain structure. Thoughts. Have positive thoughts, be optimistic, have a can-do attitude, and practice that within your thoughts. When you make a plan, we're going to talk about this in great detail in another video, but when you have a plan, start with what you want to accomplish and work your way backwards. And let your thoughts drive that plan. Imagination is important too. In our cortex, we have this great capacity to have these imaginations. I mean, it's an amazing gift from God to have a powerful imagination. And I call it the theater of our mind. And within the theater of our mind, we can imagine bad things happening or catastrophic things happening. This is where fear and anxiety come from often, is in the imagination of our mind. We see out in the future something bad's going to happen. Even Yoda said that to Luke, right? You know, all fear is in the future. So we imagine something terrible happening and it wires our brain just as if it's really happening. In the same way, if we use our imagination for a great outcome, visualize success. Visualize that downhill run 100 times. Visualize hitting that fastball and making other people chase it. Visualize success, visualize shooting the free throws, whatever it might be, our brains wire for that as well. And that's all in our imagination. Imagine that. It's in the imagination. Then I ask you, what limits have you set for yourself? We can create boxes that we see ourselves fitting into, and that's that fixed mindset. I'm within this box. I can't get out of that box. This is all I am right here. The growth mindset says, work a little bit harder and you can be over here. Change your mind about things and let your mindset and your thoughts and your imagination bust down the limits that you've set for yourself and see what really is possible.